This is Govs Radio.
Govs Radio.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, May 25th. Welcome to the Knockem Comedy Radio Show, coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club right here in Levittown, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club. It is the Knockem Comedy Radio Show, coming at you live from govsradio.com. Govsradio.com, available on our website, social media, YouTube, and, of course, an app called Boxcast, which if you're watching on your TV, you can use your smart TVs, your Roku's, your Fire Sticks, your Apple TV. That's right, we on TV! That's right, on an app called Boxcast. The Knockem Comedy Radio Show coming at you live from govsradio.com. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Happy Memorial Day? I don't know. I don't think that's the way. I don't think. What do you? I mean,
just say thank you.
Just say it, because you're wishing good wishes on the people by saying it. And we want to thank the veterans for all they do. So we're going to say Happy Memorial Day to them because we don't know what else to say. Speaking of veterans, we have two veterans joining us today on that screen right there. Our good pal Andy Plajanos will be joining us around 11:15, and then a veteran named Mike Kaplan, a friend of ours. He will be joining us on that screen. We're going to ask some questions about being a veteran. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. The weather is a little cloudy out there today on our neck of the woods, but yesterday was beautiful. Saturday rained, but we still hope you're enjoying the weekend. It was a fun weekend at Govs Radio.
It was?
It was, and it's a great And it's an exciting time here in our neck of the woods, here on Long Island, because we've been given the green light.
Well, a
Wednesday.
slight green light.
Well, the green light to start. Phase 1 of New York's reopening phases.
A very, very pale green light.
You're so negative. Take the blue off and wear black. Or just take the blue off. What'd you do?
I didn't do
what
anything.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
You're...
Leave me alone. Stop yelling at me.
Hello, Rich Raider. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Danielle. Hello, Carl. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Jerry. Joan, Don. And forgive me if I missed anybody. Those are the only names I see. But yeah, here on Long Island, we've been given the green light to start reopening phases. So phase 1 is on Wednesday. Oh, Don Sill is watching.
I know.
All right, we'll get back to the reopening stuff. Congratulations, Don Sill. Don Sill, our pal Don Sill, family to me. He is the proud Pappy.
Pappy?
That's what the shirt said. Pappy, established 2020. Hello, Felix.
What is Pappy? Is that just like another? Is it a? Is it a certain?
Some people say Grandpa. Some people say Pappy.
Yeah, but is it? Like, is it an Italian? Is it? Because I remember our next door neighbors. They were this. It was this really old couple. And everyone called him Pappy. Like, he was like, I mean, he lived for like another 50 years, but I swear he was like 70 when I knew him.
I don't know what Tommy Michael McNulty is talking about. Hello, Matt. Don is his daughter just had a baby on Thursday or Friday? Friday. So Don is a grandfather. He's a 49-year-old grandfather.
Emma Jean.
Congratulations to Don. Congratulations to his daughter and her husband. Everybody is healthy and well.
Had to give birth during this time. Like, I wonder what the hospital was like for her. He said that it went really well, but
they rushed him right out so that nobody would catch anything.
Ugh, that's
Congratulations. Awful. Done. Bye. No, they stayed.
Girl.
I think they stayed overnight, but everybody was healthy and good, so it was all right.
Yeah.
Why
true.
does
what? Why does it?
Why does it keep? I keep losing.
Well, I don't know. Why haven't you apologized for yelling at me the first time about it? That's
No, because you did
I wanted to know.
No, you did it.
Oh,
It's your fault.
okay. Yeah.
I'm losing my
brain.
My Facebook connection here, so I can. Yeah, see, there it goes again. So I can keep tabs of comments that are coming in. I wonder if I have to do an update or something. So congratulations, Don. And speaking of Don, I can't believe what you did.
What I did?
You hit.
I hit Joey Cola.
You smacked Joey Cola.
I'm so glad it was me that got to do it because.
What the hell?
Like, you'll eventually not be mad at me, but if someone else did it, you'd hold a grudge for life. Someone had to do it.
If you saw Don's show on Saturday night, Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up, you saw footage of Sallie hitting Joey Cola.
You want to play that now?
It's like sacrilegious, man. You don't hit Joey Cola.
You want to play that now?
You want to play that now?
Yeah, you want to explain it a little bit or no?
The Stuntman Challenge. I don't know why it's called that. I got yelled at by Sallie on the way here. Why is it called that? They're not doing stunts. They're not jumping off a building. They're not riding a motorcycle over a bridge. What are they? I said, Sallie, I didn't name it.
I think we all know it didn't come out that way.
I think we all know
However,
it did.
the question was there in a nice, polite librarian way.
You smacked me just like you
Not
smacked
yelling
Joey
way.
Cola. She's all confident now that she hit Joey Cola. She thinks she can hit anybody.
Yeah, now I feel like I could take on anyone.
She smacked me while I was driving. It's not the Stuntman Challenge, you asshole.
I simply inquired as to why it would be called a stuntman challenge because I think of a stuntman as like, someone falling off a roof and landing on a,
Well, did you see
inflatable
Tim
mattress.
Saliani rolling around? That's a stunt.
This is more of a fight challenge.
Did you see what you were doing? The way you were jumping all over cars? Those were stunts.
Well, I got hurt. People react differently when they get hurt. All right, you want to roll this or you want to like...
you? Was it Nigel? No, who hit? Oh, no, Carla Okerson hit you with a wine bottle.
Yeah, that's nice. That's fun. Well, if you got to be hit, you might as well get hit with a wine bottle, right?
Yeah, roll the video.
Okay. So this was on Don's show the other night. He put this all together, so it's really cool. All right, ready?
Great intro.
Your mama is so ugly, when she look out of the window, she got arrested for mooning. Your mama.
Okay. All right, don't talk about my mom again, okay?
Let me tell you something. Your mama, she's so stupid, she thinks that Manuel Labor is the name of the president of Mexico. Your mama is so dumb, she thinks that Kidney Stones is a Rolling Stone tribute band.
Gooch, I'm serious. You're starting to cross the line. Don't talk about my mother again, all right?
Your mama is so fat that when she holds ass, she got to take 3 trips.
Gooch, are you serious? Okay, Gagoots. You win. You can talk about my mom anytime you want, man.
That's right, I win. That's right. That's so nice.
How?
That's so nice. Your mom is so...
I've never seen Joey call him mad. So Don has pointed out that
What?
Hollywood stuntmen started the challenge, so that's why it's called the Stuntman Challenge.
Well, that makes sense now.
There, you happy?
see,
Now she'll
Don-
stop hitting me. Thank you, Don.
Don could just answer the question simply without making a big deal about the question. No question is stupid. Thank you, Don.
Felix says, Grandpa Susu. Grandpa Susu.
Oh, that's funny.
Congratulations, Don. He said everybody is doing well. So that's great news. Tommy Michael McNulty said this was excellent. Yeah, it was. It was a great job put together by Don. As always, Don's show on Saturdays is, I think, my favorite thing on Gov's Radio. I just love it.
Yeah, I love
think
it
it's
too.
a great show. I don't know what's going to happen when this is all over because Don's going to have to do this and the game show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Andy said that that my performance was his family's favorite. I loved him. Like, it's hard to, like, get kicked in the nuts.
Well, we'll have to ask him because we're going to be calling him in a few minutes, so we'll have to ask him about that. So there you go. That was the Stuntman Challenge on Gov's Radio, put together by Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up, Pasusu, hosted by Don Sill, and a great job by Benny Rizzuti as well. Oh, Benny and Nancy are watching. Good morning, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff to the Pasusu page on Facebook and YouTube.
Nice. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for putting it all together, Don. It's awesome.
So we're all excited here at in New York because Long Island is on track to reopen this Wednesday. The Delhi death toll in New York has fell below 100 for the first time since all this has started.
Can I have your phone?
No way.
Thanks.
So everything is on the right path. Campgrounds and RV parks are opening statewide. Anybody go to the beach this weekend? I'm curious what the beach was like.
Well, you know, Cindy's kind of a beach whore to begin with. She loves going to the beach anyway.
Beach
like,
whore.
yeah, I mean, it's freezing out in like the fall and spring, and she, makes her way to the beach at, once a week anyway. So she said that it's been crowded for, a little bit anyway before this. Like people are still going there.
Well, they are allowing gatherings of 10 people or less now too. We're cooking, we're grooving, we're on our way back. Although, we talked about Sallie's violence. Oh, I see what you're doing. Excuse me. We mentioned Sallie's violence, and we had a violent episode at Sally's house the other day. And I want to ask you guys about. I need your opinion.
Yeah,
I need your opinion on
please
this.
give the opinion. Yeah, I'd love to hear how this rolls out. Okay, wait. Let me get my arms ready.
Carlo Russo, happy Memorial Day to you, pal, and
Hey, Carlo.
and Tony and all you guys up there.
Let me get my arms ready and my eye roll. Okay, go ahead.
All right, listen to this. So I was horsing around with her youngest the other day, joking, throwing each other around and stuff in the house, and I was chasing him because he hit me, and I was chasing him around the house. He gets up on the couch because in the living room he only has. There's only one way to go. So I'm, to get out of the living room unless you're running outside. So I'm standing on the corner of the couch, just waiting for him to come out from either side of the couch so I can grab him. So he stands on the couch, right? Now, where he is standing on the couch was a low ceiling. So the ceiling was right about here. Okay, there's other parts of the ceiling. There's other parts of the couch where the ceiling is higher, but this. And he knew where he was.
I don't think he looked up to see where he was. He just trusted the adult in the room.
He's been living in this house for almost 6 years.
With adults he can trust.
Oh, God. So I made a joke because he's standing right there. So I just looked at him and go, jump. Joking because, so sure enough, guess what happens? He decides to jump.
Guess what the idiot does.
And so immediately, bam! So everybody's like, oh, my God, like it was a hard hit. I mean, he really seriously went to jump and, so it was right there. So my question is this, folks. And let me tell you, looking for the guidance of an adult, he's 16. Okay, he's not 3, he's not 8, he's 16.
I'm in the kitchen and I just hear the thud, and so I knew he was on the couch. I knew what was going on. But I was like, what happened? He's like, well, I hit my head on the ceiling. I'm like, why? And he looks at Tony, he's like, he told me to jump. I'm like,
so here's hello, Danny Coronado. All right, so here's my question to you guys.
Who does that on purpose to someone else?
Who is it on me for telling him to jump?
Yes.
Or is it his own stupidity for jumping when he knows that there's a ceiling right there? I mean, so if I'm at fault, does that mean I can tell him to jump off a bridge? Can I tell him to give me all of his money? No.
Well, if he jumped off the bridge, don't you think people would be like, why? Why would you tell him to do that?
No, I don't. They'd be like, well, the poor kid wanted to commit suicide, or what an idiot for listening, or what an idiot for taking the guy seriously when he said jump.
All right.
So certain people think that
Everyone
this was my
thinks.
doing.
Everyone thinks.
Absolutely not. My son, who was there, agreed with me. My son said, no, that's on him for jumping. He's 16 years old. He could have easily have said no, like any normal, independent thinker, smart person would.
Well, the low ceiling was right at his head and behind him, so he was looking out at you, the one he trusted, and the open space. I think if he saw a flat
space?
ceiling, because the ceiling kind of opens up where you were. You're so wrong.
I'm waiting.
All your fault.
I'm waiting for comments.
It's so your fault.
It's not even close to my fault. All right, get Andy on the phone.
All
would
right,
you?
let's do that. Okay. Andy,
Yeah, see?
I'm calling now.
It's 11:20. You're late. See, and that's my
Late.
fault too, I suppose.
Everything's your fault.
Danielle Asher says it's on him.
No.
Right there, it's on you, meaning the son.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Ours did crazy things like that at 16, so it's on me?
Yes.
Benny. Thank you, Benny. The kid is obviously stoned. Right. It's his own stupidity. Right.
No way, Andy. You would have told your daughter, like if your daughter was 16, you would have told her to jump and bang her head.
They're old enough to know, make their own decisions.
I would like to hear from the people who actually like their children to write in.
Ed Pasinka's watching. Ed is a smart man. Ed, I hope you're...
Andy.
Nancy's with Sallie. Come on, Nancy.
Andy. Yeah, that's because she cares about her children.
So if I tell you to jump, if you're standing in that same spot...
If you told me to jump and I hit my head, as soon as I got the ice pack off my head, I would hurt you. All right, let's see. Hey, Andy, hold on. I just got to get you on the screen.
Hey, how are you?
No, just take a second.
Sally's camera's off.
Yeah,
we
hold
are
on.
getting our pal...
I have to like mirror into
the hilarious
I had
Andy
like a picture I was going to
on the
lead
phone.
with.
He is a veteran. We're going to talk to two veterans today, Andy Plajanos and a veteran by the name of
Turn this
Michael
up.
Kaplan. There he is.
There you are. Okay, you're on now.
That's the closest you can get.
Sweet.
Over? You can turn.
Yeah.
If you turn it, there you go.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, that's cool.
There he is.
So I have a whole
Good morning,
setup
Mr.
here.
Plajanos, sir.
How are
Good morning, Knockem Dead.
All right. So how are your nuts
How's it
after
going
getting
in the morning
kicked by
time?
Jeff Bosey?
Oh, it was actually pleasant. Usually I have to pay extra for that.
It's hard to fake pain, isn't it? I thought that was like hard, especially
Well,
and
it
I don't
wasn't
know, I've
hard.
been
It
kicked
wasn't
in the
hard.
nuts.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it wasn't hard for weeks after. I've been kicked in the nuts a lot. The emotional recall is actually very easy to do.
Kicked in the nuts a lot. Wow. I'm scared to ask what that means.
Well, I like I said, usually I have to pay extra.
that's funny.
It's great. And are you now scared of Tim Saliani? He's going to come looking for you.
You know what? All I have to do is be half a step faster than him, and since the COVID took his lungs, he'll run out of juice before he'll get me.
That's true. Carla hit me in the head with a wine bottle, but I'm just going to look at it as she was trying to give me a bottle of wine, and I just got in the way and messed it up. Oh, lost your sound for a second.
Kind of Don had sent like a rough cut of it to me.
Yeah.
When he first asked me to, like much like when I think I said we talked about it, Sallie, like in a message. So I'd only seen a few, so it was kind of amazing to see it all put together the way it was.
Yeah, I know he
And
did a great job.
My family loved your performance.
So funny. My non-performance.
It was like all of them were like, this is the best one. And then my wife just said, actually, before she went upstairs, she's like, what I really loved about it was, it was kind of cheesy, and then all of a sudden it's Sally's, and she's like throwing herself all over, and the music stops.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And
that like just added to it. So.
Shoes are flying. Yeah, I know. It's so funny because like before I met Tony, I'm like, because I'm already like still
a dick,
a total dick, a full through and through introvert, and like. I would never do anything like that years ago, and like I keep getting like put in these like even like pretending to be Benny the other day like
that was great.
Even like 5 years ago I would have been like, no, I'm not going to be able to do that, and now I'm like, sure. All right, just give me a minute and I'm out there, like whatever you want me to do. But I used to be like so like uncomfortable doing stuff like that. Now like I just whatever he wants me to do, I don't care.
Well, that was great. Like Don's show has become like kind of like he's been able to take like what's been going on. Like so many shows can't like I'm talking about professional, real, like on TV. Well, even though we are on TV.
No, I hear what you're saying.
But I mean like corporate
television.
They have not handled this well.
No.
Don has somehow tapped this awesome thing. They led. Matter of fact, my favorite thing from the show, while the Stuntman Challenge was awesome, my favorite thing from that show was actually how they opened it, where the two of them are like in an old movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the guy's going, "You touched me," and he's like, "I didn't touch him."
Right.
I was crying laughing watching that.
Right. I mean, even early on when he was doing the show, like 6 weeks ago or something, when he was just, dancing around his living room in the white feathery bathrobe. Like, I loved that. Because I think because it just captured what we're all going through. Do I really need, even today I was like, do I really need to take my slippers off to come in here? We're all going through that stuff, and I think he's like ahead
I'm
of the
wearing
game.
pajamas.
Yeah. There you go.
These are pajama pants.
We're just happy
They're
wearing
superhero
pants, not
pajama
like that
pants.
like that poor newscaster who wasn't even wearing pants.
I would do that if I was him. I would have probably tried to go au natural on the bottom half.
Gets a little sticky on the chair. But yeah,
Yeah, but
I
you know
agree.
what?
I think Don's been fantastic, and it's been completely so professional and funny, and the guests that he's had on the show. I really look forward to it.
I love everybody sending in their jokes too. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I just did it for the first time.
Yeah, that's Don's show. We love Don and his show. So all right, so what do you prefer? Do you prefer? What do you feel about people saying Happy Memorial Day? It's kind of what else do you say?
So well, I'll start actually a stage earlier than that.
Okay.
Is as a I joined in 1994.
Okay.
Right before Christmas, a 1 week before Christmas.
Wow.
And it was peacetime. And it was just different. And of course, 9/11 happened and sort of changed everybody's perspective. And something that had always stuck with me was people would always thank me.
Right.
And I have a problem with that.
Really?
Because
thank you for your service?
Yes, because I needed a job. My motivation, the motivation of almost everyone who joins, patriotism, while it does factor in, is almost never the primary reason why somebody joins. I'm not saying it never is, but usually it's it's a contributing factor. It's just never the primary reason.
Okay.
I remember I sat in basic training on the floor, and my TI was like, "Who joined for the money?" And there were actually a couple of guys raising who joined for the benefits. More guys raised their hand. And then he got to who joined just for patriotism. Nobody raised their hand.
Wow.
And these were people who left 1 week before Christmas.
Yeah,
So
but
you knew you weren't going to be spending that time with your family.
yeah, that's
Right.
awful. So all right, so just on another note, my dad was a sergeant in the police, in New York City, and he absolutely was like you. He took the job because he was working for the phone company and he was working for other companies, and when he was in his early 20s, and he was always the last guy hired, the first guy to get laid off. This is back in the day. He died a handful of years ago, and he was 86. It was a really long time ago, and people were laid off all the time, and he was just tired of that, and he just wanted to support his family, so he joined the police force. And it's the same thing. He didn't do it I want to be a cop. He just really wanted to raise a family and not worry about it anymore. And it was fine. But from the perspective of his daughter, I would hope that people would say thank you, because if I had 10 friends, I was the only one who went home and worried if he was going to come home that day. The accountant kids, didn't really have that fear. So I think you should, even though you didn't join for patriotism, thank you.
Well, I have evolved on it, and I do think that it's more important for the families and the people who love the veteran. It's more important that somebody is thanking their loved one. I think for the actual veteran, it's a little bit for somebody who joined during peacetime, because I will say, my views evolved on it. I think the kids who joined when they were like, "Oh no, you're going." It's almost like the Vietnam era. I come from a long line of people who were in. I trace back merchant marine ship.
Hey, Andy, every few seconds you cut out a bit. I'm not sure why.
Oh,
Well,
everything
right.
seems
So
okay
just,
on my end.
Yeah, just forgive us if we ask you to repeat yourself a little bit. But
Yeah, we
you-
got
sure,
everything
sure.
so far.
You're gonna ask me to talk more? Oh. But what I was gonna say is I service was like a thing that was gonna happen. I have a great grandfather. 3 out of my 4 grandparents were served. 2 in Europe, 1 in the Pacific during World War II.
Yeah.
My dad was in Vietnam. I have an uncle who was in the Army. I have an uncle who was in the Air Force. My brother was in the Navy before. My brother's older. My brother joined the Navy. I joined the Air Force. Like, it's part of, like, it is. So if you don't have anything else, you can't get anything else done, go do it. And that's the advice I always give. But
Right.
So when those kids knew they were going to war, yes, okay, I understand the thank you, and I thank them myself.
Sure. Right.
Because I joined, literally, I had to go somewhere, I had to do something because I was going nowhere here. I was a Billy Joel song or a Bruce Springsteen song, you know? So
You were born
So yeah,
wrong.
so I like when it gets to thanking a veteran, and by being a veteran, you then start thinking about different things. So Veterans Day, awesome. I always make sure I take off.
Right.
Memorial Day, I found 5-10 years ago. I looked through my Facebook memories this morning, and I was like ranting about, please do not thank me. Thank me tomorrow. Thank me the day before. Thank me any other day of the year. Just focus on the people who lost it all on Memorial Day. It is for the fallen.
Yeah, it is. But you could have been one of them, you know.
But I could have, but I get to be here for the other 364 days for you to say thank you. Memorial Day, let's just all take a deep breath, sit back, and thank the families because they're not here to be thanked. Let's thank the families. Which was, like you did, there's no value above a human life, I think.
Of course. But, I mean, granted, the day is about the fallen, and you went during peacetime, but, whether it's peacetime or not, I mean, there has been a draft in how many years? So it's all a choice, and it's all a job well done. So I understand what you're saying and agree to a certain extent, but at the same time, I'd rather thank you now while you're still here as opposed to years from now when you're gone and I never said
And
it.
I totally appreciate that. I'm saying, like, I evolved to that because it was like almost like a survivor's guilt.
Right.
It's almost like a survivor's guilt where you're like, me, I just needed money, and these people were dumb enough to hire me.
Well, yeah. Well, what did you do? Because, like, I remember, like, listening a little bit about, like, what you did. Like you could read things backwards and upside down.
Well,
like, explain that stuff. Like, it's kind of groovy.
So my job was
Wait, you cut out.
So
explain that again. Your job was what?
all I did was track maintenance for like a squadron of aircraft, and then I would create a flying schedule, or I would pick aircraft to fly based on what maintenance was coming due. Now, because of that, you do have to be a little bit of like a hustler because people don't want to give you the things that you need to get your job done. So one of the skill sets that you learn is to go into other people's offices to talk to them, and you're like, blah, 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 blah. Look down at their and be able to read upside down.
That's so funny.
Or if they had something you come in and somebody turns over a piece of paper, and you're like, oh, I wonder what that was. Like, why did they turn over that piece of paper? So now you're trying to read it upside down and backwards.
Yeah. And you got good at doing that? That's great.
Yeah. And you get good at trading things because you need to get certain things done, and you go around to other offices and you're like, hey, I need the wash dock. this day? Well, we have the watch. Well, I need it that day. Well, what are you going to give me? And you just start like horse trading and
It's
whatnot.
like prison. Like when you like
It-
trade in a pack of smokes for
It's
a knife.
and actually, I'm a part of a couple of Facebook groups that like of squadrons that I was in, and one of them that in North Carolina, I've been going through a lot of my old stuff, trying to keep busy, and I found an ID card for me that allowed me to pick up prisoners from the minimum security prison on base, so that they could come and sweep up and take out our trash and all that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. So I posted it on my on that squadron, the 335th Fighter Squadron's Facebook page, and I'm like, "Hey, do they still do this?" And I actually found out they closed the prison, but I've also got a lot of other stories of when they first opened the prison that they wouldn't
They wouldn't
because
what? They wouldn't what?
they
Yeah,
wouldn't
hey, we lost you for a second. They wouldn't go back. They wouldn't what?
the prison, the Bureau of Prisons, federal government would not use the airman dorms to house prisoners because they were too small.
Oh.
Yeah, for one prisoner where 2 airmen were living.
Right. Great.
Wow.
Had better accommodations going
Right.
out and committing a white-collar crime or federal offense.
Yeah.
Shit.
And if you complain, they're like, let join the Navy and let me put you in a submarine.
Right, yeah.
That'll give you
Yeah,
something to
that-
cry about.
Yeah, now that I know what I know, I'd be like, no, send me to prison.
Right?
Please.
What made you so that was your sole decision? You were just out of a job, you had no direction, and you said, "Screw it, I'll join the service."
Well, like the depressing, like the anybody who does any sort of comedy sort of does have some like sad or tragic kind of things in their past. I was sort of hopeless when I was a child.
Really?
My parents had divorced before I really, like when I was 4. Didn't have a concept of family. We were always told, my brother and I, that we would have to pay for college for ourselves. And like, well, how much is that? And my mother would just tell us, go to the library. And I'm like, well, what am I looking for there?
Right.
Well, ask a librarian. Like, okay. But, guidance counselors
Not a
were
lot of
pretty
help.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, but we, I remember at the time it was, when I first started looking, it was I was in 7th grade. Saw the tuition for state college. I think it was like $4,000 for 2 semesters for the entire academic year.
Right.
And I was like, $4,000. Like we lived paycheck to paycheck growing up because it was just my mom's and the child support, which really wasn't that much.
Yeah.
So
it just seemed overwhelming.
It was. So I gave up in 7th grade. So I like got into drugs.
Which is so funny. I mean, I know you don't want to hear this, but you're so smart. You probably could have gotten like scholarships. Like you're very bright.
Well, yeah, I don't know if some of that is like I picked up after the fact.
You bloomed
I don't know
late.
I don't know how awesome I was as a 7th grader. But
And you're a
like-
great dad. Like I love seeing videos with like your little like beautiful daughters. You're just a great dad. So whatever you didn't learn, you learned what you were supposed to do.
and I credit the Air Force. I actually do for really kind of changing my. I'll always tell people, and especially people ask me to talk to their kids who are thinking about joining, and I always say. Well, first of all, you're not going to learn what you want to do in the Air Force. That's very rare, or the military in general.
Right.
It will teach you what you don't want to do.
You're right. Yeah. That's
So-
true. Good point.
But the other thing is I always tell them that joining the Air Force, my first enlistment, was the best decision I've ever made in my life. The worst decision I ever made in my life was re-enlisting.
Oh, you did that?
So you did a
Yeah.
total of 8 years?
Just short of 8 years, yeah.
And why the second time? Why was that bad?
How old were you the second time?
It was like the first marriage. I didn't really have I wasn't prepared to get out, or as prepared as I wanted to be. So I kind of sold 4 years of my life for that preparation,
Right.
and I kind of kicked myself for not preparing myself during those first 4 years. It's yeah, a lot of soul searching on that one. I actually cried after my re-enlistment ceremony.
Oh, no.
I was like in the
'Cause you
bathroom.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what did I do?
That was so stupid. And the thing is I just wanted it to be quick, because you have to stand there and be like, I do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution. Wait, I don't want to accidentally enlist right now. But but I wanted it to be quiet in a corner somewhere. But they made it like on stage at my squadron. I was in Korea, and it was on stage at the squadron. Like, there was like 50 people there. I'm like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. This is like a shotgun wedding.
You should have done it as Dracula.
Yeah. You would have gotten out that afternoon.
It's funny because back then, I was like the funniest guy in the bar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends, all my military friends are like, I gotta see you. I gotta come see you.
It's amazing. They sound like that in the service?
Yeah, no, that's my stupid voice that I do. And it's what I use when I'm saying, like, oh, Tony was saying, oh,
well, I really do sound
describe
like
him
that.
too. I actually do that. Like whenever I'm like, well, we said,
Hey, Adrian.
and he's like, can you stop trying to imitate me? I'm like, what do you mean?
My wife hates that I'm like, when my mother, when I'm telling a story about my mother, I go, oh, Andy, stop. And she's like, that's not what she sounds like. Now, though, after like 10 years of marriage, she's like, oh my God, that's that woman.
That woman.
Yeah.
That's great.
But
All right. Well, Andy Plajanos. So don't say thank you. Don't say thank you to Andy.
well, no, that's like I said, I've
He said
evolved,
it's okay
and
now.
I appreciate the sentiment
Oh,
behind
no,
it.
I get it, of course. All right. Well, we're good. We're good to go. Thank you for your time, pal, as always. And we do hope, God, whenever this reopens, man,
know.
we hope to see you again on Fridays in here with us.
Absolutely.
We were just starting to get that going, and we hope
Yeah.
to pick that up where we left off. So
Some would say it's our fault, Tony.
I've been told that about the brokerage. Yeah, I've been told that since I was the last one to go there.
Yeah, you were gonna come in like every Friday, like that.
Yeah.
Like that got
Yep.
like all
Well,
messed
we've done
up.
it once with Danny.
Right. Oh, was that
yeah.
that was the only one?
Yes.
Come on. So now I got to feel even more bad about talking to Elio for a half hour while you guys were sitting
No,
here.
that was great. That was hilarious.
I got yelled at by so many.
Really? That was awesome. Oh my God! Between Danny, you, and I, we don't have enough to talk about. We're not that interesting.
I was sick.
think
That's
everybody knows
that's
that.
when I was like really sick, right? Like I didn't even come in.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
really?
I didn't come in. I was
Oh,
sick.
that's
Yeah, because
right.
you were by yourself, and I'm like, "Where's Sallie?"
Yeah, I had.
Like,
I think
not
I
one's
had.
not trusting
I
me.
think I had the virus.
Like,
Yeah.
can I see your trunk? Because I'm kind of worried about Sallie. I haven't seen her in a while.
Well, after all, you are Batman.
Well, good thing I didn't come out. I would have got everyone sick.
Yeah, true. True.
Unlike Mike Keegan. Did you hear?
Carla Okerson.
No, did you hear about that, Andy?
Oh, yeah,
I'm
he
like,
knows.
I'm like sitting here at the soundboard with Mike next to me for 2 hours, and then the next day he like posts. So I have pneumonia. I'm like, I'm gonna kill him.
All right. So
Why are you here?
yeah. All right. So the most important question before we let you go: 16-year-old kid, right? He knows not to jump, right?
No, he has daughters who
Dude,
he loves.
so
Would
he-
you have said to your 16-year-old daughter, "Please jump"? No,
Yes.
you wouldn't.
Yes. He said yes.
No, I absolutely would. And I would have faked. I'd have faked my contrition. So like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I didn't even fake it. I just left.
He just
I'm
laughed.
so sorry,
I left for about 20 minutes. I didn't even try to fake it.
dude.
I'm wiping
Yeah.
the blood off the ceiling, and he's like
Blood
laughing.
off the ceiling. He said he was fine immediately. And then he got me back. He hit me. He hit me with a pillow, with the zipper hit me right. Yeah, there's like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little mark on my forehead. Right there. Little fucker.
Nice.
See, I knew Andy'd be with me.
I actually would have yelled at him for hitting the ceiling. I'd be like, "What are you breaking the ceiling for?"
What did the ceiling ever do to you?
That's right.
That's how I was raised. Anything I did was my fault. So.
Wow.
I miss you.
Yeah, Andy Plajanos. Yeah, we hope to hopefully soon, man. But thanks for
I
the time.
I never even get to watch this live because my kids, I'm doing the schooling with them.
Oh, yeah, because they're little.
It's right in the middle of the day of the school day.
I just wish mine well. Like, yeah, good luck with that geometry class.
Yeah. So I'll say thank you for that because I give all the parents credit for trying to get through the day with the kids doing school. It's crazy.
Well, it's more being like reading something and going and being like, no, you need to redo this, and they're like. And be like, oh, that's right, you're in first grade.
Yeah, right. I know.
Right.
The teacher would have accepted this.
That's why you go to school, because I don't have to do this.
Right.
Goodness. All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you, pal, as always.
Andy, thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Love you guys, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Cool.
Thanks,
Bye.
Andy. All right, there you go. Andy Plajanos, the hilarious Andy Plajanos. You can catch him. He's on a bunch of different shows here at govsradio.com. And he has his own stand-up and his own videos that he puts. Go check him out on YouTube and Facebook. Very funny man. We thank him for his time. You're going to try and get Michael?
Sure.
Michael Kaplan, as Sallie tries to get Mike on the phone. Michael Kaplan is a friend of mine. I met Michael in the mid-'90s. We did some plays together. And he is actually, as you know, Knockem did comedy. We do murder mysteries, audience interactive comedy shows. It was actually Mike that I started doing murder mysteries with back in 2002. He was the guy that I had done murder mysteries for other companies, but doing it on my own, with somebody, that it started with Mike. And he's not answering?
Well, he's not answering. Plus, my Govs Radio thing isn't mirroring.
Oh.
So
He's
it's
not.
both of us that trying not to make it happen.
Oh, it's working now. You're mirroring. Oh, you can load it. So let's see if he answers. All right, so there you go. There was your little history about Michael Kaplan.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay. Well, are the phone lines open?
They are now.
Okay. Call in if you feel like calling in for Memorial Day. That was good with Andy. Yeah, I think as he was explaining before he got to the part about feeling guilty, I was thinking, you know what? I think he just feels, awkward about it because, like, first of all, I don't think he recognizes how dangerous it really is.
What are we talking about?
Andy feeling bad that people say thank you.
Oh.
And anyone having a job. You know what? I don't know. People say thank you for like any kind of job. Like, thank you for coming over and fixing my
Yeah, which was something I thought about. I wanted to say that, right? No matter what your job is, people are going to say thank you if you do it well.
Right.
Especially in that field. And we should say thank you now. And this was pretty much a war, the whole COVID thing. Doctors and nurses on the front lines. I mean, it was pretty much a war, but trying to stay alive. And it had a death toll, bigger than any war I can think of.
Yeah.
So let's thank them, everybody on the front lines, whether it's a nurse, a doctor, or a soldier. Everybody on the front lines of any type of war. Rich Rada is watching. Let's see. Taz is watching. Hi, Taz. Erin Milos is watching.
I saw Aaron watching first, and I think like a few days ago, Mark White had some type of squabble with people being dicky to him on Facebook, and then he was saying something like, "That's it, I'm out."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So then,
well, he's watching too, by the way.
yeah, but I saw Aaron. I was thinking to myself, oh, I wonder if he's like still off Facebook and he's just watching through Aaron. But then I saw him on too.
Chris
So,
Thomas is
yeah.
watching. Danielle and Asher was asking Andy, how do you become more my favorite every time you speak?
Yeah, you know what? Andy's just like, you meet him and you like him immediately. And then after a while, he's he's just like comfort food. Like you just love him.
Charles Goonan is watching. Anthony DiDomenico, Greg DiFilippo, Tina Candidin, Gina Conjemi Coffin, Brenda Back, and you're live on the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show. Who's this?
Hello there, Tony. What's up?
Hello there, DJ D Love.
Hello, DJ.
Are you thanking veterans? Are you thanking veterans today, DJ?
Yo, yes, I do. Always.
Good. How was your weekend?
Our weekend was great, guys.
Very nice.
How was your weekend?
It was very good, thanks. Very good.
Calling Friday. I was
sorry.
trying to call him Friday. Look, I was trying to call him Friday, but you guys never let me hang calling. So I have a song today, and I'm going to sing it to Eric today.
Okay.
His birthday.
Okay, go ahead.
As you go, it goes, happy birthday to you. This is your day. Happy birthday to you, wherever you are. Happy birthday to you, wherever you are. This is your day. Always. Happy birthday to you.
Wow. That was amazing, DJ D Love. And I'm sure it doesn't matter that his birthday was a few days ago. He'll still appreciate that. And I'll be sure to play this for him.
Yeah, you need to play it for him and then tell him that's the happy birthday to him.
Will do. And thank you everybody who wished Eric well on his birthday the other day. That was great, DJ D Love. That was great. Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you, pal.
I'd like to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'm glad we're going back to normal pretty soon, and I can't wait to do my show with you guys.
Yep, we're hoping it'll be on time, but whenever we reopen, we will have the show with you. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
Cool. Excellent.
And by the way, Tony,
Yep.
I got some good news. I'm going to a show.
Yeah.
And next month.
I'm sorry, we lost you for a second. You're going where?
I'm going to a show next month.
A show next month. What kind of show?
It's going to be these guys called the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, you're going to go see the Doobie Brothers?
Yes.
Oh, I've seen them. They're great. You're going to have a great time.
Oh, yes. I follow them, too. They're awesome.
All right, well, start learning their songs before you go see them.
I got a new saying.
Yeah?
It's a new saying. Ready?
Ready.
We Doobie Brothers, and we do backflips. It's my new saying. Peace.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, DJ, we'll see you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for the call, buddy. Oh, he's already gone?
Yep.
Why, you cut him off?
Yeah, because Mike's like sitting here, man. Hi, Mike.
Michael, he's on the line. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Hello. He's not on.
Oh, yeah. You know what? He was on, and then
I think I fell
shut
asleep.
off. Sorry, Mike. How are you?
How are you?
Jamaican Lada. How are? Good to see you, pal.
There's my brother Tony. What are you doing?
What are you doing? How you doing? You feeling good? Everybody's all right?
Yeah, so it's definitely us, the
Yeah,
connection. We're having like a little bit of problem with connection, so every once in a while you
Yeah,
cut
every
out.
once in a while the audio cuts out, so we may ask you to repeat yourself a little bit.
You know me. I like to talk.
Yeah.
So
Good to
I'm
see
sorry.
you.
So yes, everybody's feeling good. Everybody's all right.
Yeah, you?
Yeah, everybody's good, man. Thanks. I like that flag back there behind you.
You know, I made that flag.
You made that flag?
I made that flag.
I don't believe that.
I have.
So what is that?
I made
Say again, Mike.
I made every star with a flaw in it because we have a flawed country. That's why we have to fight.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, all right.
He made-
Repeat that. A flawed star. Why?
Most of the flawed.
And now he's
We have a flawed country. And that's why we need to fight for it.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Bear with us, Mike. We're trying to work on these audio issues here. A flawed country that we have to, and that's why we have to fight. Okay. So yeah. So let's go back to the beginning. No, it's not that.
I know, but my earphones went out, and now it's not anymore, so don't worry about it.
Okay. So you actually enlisted twice, right? Two separate times.
Twice. The first time was 1987, and just like Andy,
Yeah.
real quick, my first girlfriend, we got into this big fight, and I was basically like, I was working job to job with, and her father said, "Get a goddamn job." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll join the army." He's like, "Great idea." So I spent like 3 years in the army, and the Gulf War happens. And that's when I realized what it really was to be a veteran.
Oh yeah.
As a veteran, you don't really understand what it truly means to serve unless you're in a combat zone. Even though wearing the uniform, I miss wearing the uniform. I would put it on and just go to the store with it with my mask on if I was allowed to. But and along with Andy, do not thank me, because I don't believe I deserve to be thanked for doing what I think most of us should be doing anyway.
Right.
And I truly feel that. But the first Gulf War, in 1991, that's when I truly understood to sleep in dirt and, scavenge for food and do all these things made me understand what it really meant to be a veteran. And then, and on top of that, and I think, Tony, in 2007, my son talked me into, he went active duty,
Right.
and he said, "Hey, you're not old enough. You can go in the reserves." So I went in the reserves, and we both deployed to Iraq. So he spent 12 months in Iraq, and I spent 12 months in Iraq. So I spent about almost 2 full years living in the Middle East out of my life.
And where'd you go the first time? Was it Iraq also the first time or no?
The first time I was stationed in Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
about 30 miles south of the Iraq border, and then during the war we traveled up to Kuwait City.
Wow, man. And I'm sure.
And in Iraq, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike, please.
In Iraq, I was stationed in a city called Tikrit, which is Saddam Hussein's birth town,
Right.
and hometown, and traveled all over Iraq, down to Baghdad, all over the place. So I wouldn't trade a million years for anything.
And going there, I'm sure, especially during wartime, I'm sure you saw some crazy stuff. But at the same time, do you... Oh, did we lose him? Oh, there he is.
Nope.
There you are. At the same time, though, do you get to meet a lot of the people, and is it as bad as they make it seem on TV? Like, do they really hate us over there, or there's certain percentage of people that are thrilled? Please get Saddam Hussein out of here for me, please. What's it really like? I would think the people are just normal people like us. That's my guess, but I'm probably wrong.
You're not wrong, Tony.
And just so you know, Andy came back to watch, and he just said that you're nailing it. Like everything that you're saying so far, he's really appreciating.
Oh, I appreciate him. The first Gulf War in '91, we were stationed near a little village, and I will tell you, they're nice to your face, but I believe they didn't like us there.
Wow.
And it really came to fruition when I went to Iraq. We would roll out of the guard gate in convoys, and there were children starving, begging us for food. We would go to checkpoints. Iraq. I never felt so much hatred towards us until I went to Iraq. Politics aside, all that other
Yeah,
crap.
sure, right.
I felt so much hatred every time I stepped outside of where I was stationed. I felt my life was in danger at any given moment, and but again, Tony, I would never ever change a minute of wearing during that unit ever.
Sure. No, and it's it is weird, I guess, now because I feel like, well, I'll say it anyway. Thank you. I mean, thank you to Andy. Thank you to you and everybody that's serving, and thank you for the, we're supposed to remember the fallen today, but that number, the fallen, would be a lot higher. The number of people gone if it wasn't for people like you and Andy. So I'm going to say, I feel it's okay to say thank you. So I'm going to say it.
Can I say, I have a little message, and love and laughter. That's what I go by.
Sure.
And I learned this from a general. A soldier is all about love and laughter. And laughter is, I was very fortunate when I went to Iraq because I wasn't an infantryman. I was working with trucks and logistics. I was working with other things. I mean, a guy like me, if I was battling a terrorist, like kicking down doors, the typical infantryman stuff,
Sure.
I would say, hold on, I got to finish my cheeseburger, my inhaler, and then I want to have a cigarette, and then we could fight.
Right.
Okay. As long as I could do that, I would have been fine. So,
I've heard good things about the bases. I heard that it's almost like a little town with Wendy's and Burger Kings and shit. Is that correct?
we had Burger King, we had Subway.
Wow.
Yeah, we had McDonald's. We had a little department store. The Post Exchange, the PX.
Wow.
It was. Iraq was a definitely different situation. We lived in trailers with heat and air conditioning.
Wow.
But the first Gulf War, with the living situations, we basically slept in dirt for 10 months.
Ugh.
And that one was tough.
Yeah, I bet. Wow.
But I tell you, I loved every second of it. And when I was released from the Army, just about 10 years ago, I'll never forget it. I got my discharge paper in Fort Totten, New York, and I didn't want to take the uniform off all night.
And what made you so? All right, so when you went back 2007, so you were what, like early 40s?
I was 42 years old, buddy.
And
Yeah.
so I mean, so you weren't battling in the front line, so you felt. I don't know how it works, so forgive me. Do they take guys at the age of 42 to battle in the front lines, or do they take people? At people at your age, do they say, okay, well, he did this last time. He worked on trucks. He was, he did certain things, so that's why we take him back, or does the age not matter?
The age does matter. At that time, in 2007, how it works is, since I spent 5 years of active duty,
Yeah.
87 to 92, so I was 42, so they minus those active duty years, which made me 37. And at that age, 36, 37 was the cutoff, so they let me right back in. So I had I had to retake a physical at Fort Hamilton. They found a transportation unit for me in Queens, and that was it. I was back in, and I was a weekend warrior reserves out of Fort Totten, Queens, and I didn't deploy with that unit. I deployed. It's funny, Tony. If you want to hear a funny story,
I would love to.
Fine. Barbara and I were out shopping one day, and I was 6 months into my reserve career, and I get a phone call, and I'm like, hello, and this guy says, hello, my name is First Sergeant Anthony Del Pozo with the 220th, blah, 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 blah. You are now with me. I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? What is this? I said, what is this, a goddamn prank call? So I get. Meanwhile, he was the first sergeant, and I hung up on the guy because I thought it was one of my buddies pranking me.
Right.
And he called me back and he said, this relationship is not starting off well.
Whoops.
I said, well, who the hell are you? And he said, I already told you, I'm First Sergeant Anthony Del Pozo. You are with me. We are going to Iraq. I'm like, all right. And he wound up to be a great friend of mine. But
Yeah, that's great.
And so when he said that the second time, that's when you believed it?
That's when I started believing it, and that's my underwear.
See, you actually cut out, but we got you back when you said my underwear. I think we know exactly what he said.
Tony, I want to tell you something.
Okay.
Because I want to thank you,
Uh,
and I want to turn this around on you, and I'll tell you why.
All right.
You and I met. I've been watching the whole program.
Oh.
You and I have been performing. We first met in the late '90s or something. We were performing.
right.
Now, when we're on the floor doing those shows, it's almost the same mentality as a soldier, because you have to rely on everybody else knowing your line.
Okay.
So if you drop a line, I have to pick you up, and vice versa. So if you understand that, when it comes to making people laugh, and I don't know if you remember the show, I lost 3 pages, and it was a big crazy thing.
Yeah, I remember.
But someone picked me up by running off stage and said, "Boy, this guy really screwed this whole show up. Let me get it back on track." And we got back on track. And that's what soldiering is all about. Is you will never find. I consider you almost a soldier. Do you ever heard the term battle buddy?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
A battle buddy is that you're supposed to be tight with, that always has your back, and even during this pandemic, like Barbara's my battle buddy. We go to the stores together. You have to have someone that always has your back, and you have their back. Watching my 6, I'm watching your 6, and when we're on the floor performing, that's why I love that I'm a veteran, but I'm also a performer as well, because it's almost the same emotion as, obviously it's not life and death. Well, sometimes comedy can be life
Yeah,
and death.
true. Right. Yeah.
But I wanted you to know that you have that mentality as well. Making people laugh have kind of the same emotion, brother.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you, pal. And yeah, absolutely. We do. We go way back, and a lot of crazy and great memories together. And I'm going to throw it back on you even more, because when I went through my own personal battle, when I was sick, there were very few that were there for me more than you, pal. So and don't think I ever forget that. So I appreciate that, and you're one of my favorite people. You know that.
I do, and I appreciate that, and I don't know if I would have been that person, Tony, if it wasn't for my experience as a veteran.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because what it taught, what the first Gulf War taught me was the living conditions were so tough. Is we had to look out for one another.
Sure.
And there were guys that were hurt or injured, and I don't even want to get into what our mission was there.
Right.
But we had to pick each other up. And when you got sick, Tony, my heart ached for you every time I saw you. I remember going to visit you in the hospital one day, and you had all your CDs and all, and I remember walking out the door, and I looked at you, and you just looked at me, and you said, "This really sucks." and that's why I say love and laughter. You and I have laughed for 20-something years.
Absolutely.
And, I love you like a brother.
Right back
That's
at
why
you, pal.
can go gaps without talking, but as soon as we talk, when you call, I'm like, what do you want? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we always pick up where we left off, and then and then it's just nice because it all leads to that starring performance in the streets too. So it's amazing.
Do you know? Have you?
You're such a dick.
I finally sat down not even a week ago with Barbara, and we watched it.
Yeah.
And
Did you?
I don't think I've ever laughed as much in my life.
But it's a heavy drama.
And Tony, and I'm
Hang on.
sure.
Sorry, pal. Go back a little bit. We lost you.
I'm not an egotistical actor. When I saw myself perform, I wanted to jump off the roof of my house. What was I doing? I should be shot and killed for that.
Well, you were great though. You're always great. So there's that.
All I did was this.
Oh, it's always fun talking to you, pal. So thank you thanks for the time. This was really cool, interesting stuff. And thank you to your son too, and for serving. Thank you for everything. And let's catch up soon, pal.
Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely. Do you mind if I say something?
Of
to
course.
Sally?
No, go right ahead.
Sally,
Yes.
when it comes to your son jumping through the ceiling,
Yes.
I am going to side with Tony, and I'm going to tell you why.
You're breaking up, Mike. I don't think we can hear the story.
Oh yeah.
We can't hear anything you're saying right now. But thanks for calling in. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You know, I know you're an intelligent. You raised an intelligent kid. He has to know that Tony is up to always some sort of shenanigans. So
He's right about that.
That is true.
he's telling me there's a trap. There's a trap in this. So I'm sorry. I'm sure your son's a wonderful kid, but
I'll tell him that as we're visiting him in the hospital tonight for a concussion. But thanks for the input. That's really great.
thank you for
Thoughtful.
having me on.
Oh, our pleasure, Mike.
Always great to talk with
Let's
you.
do it again when things are back to normal. We'd love to come sit with us one day and have some fun
Oh,
with
yeah,
us.
that'd be fun.
It would be my honor.
Cool.
It would be my
All
honor.
right. So I'll talk to you soon, Mike. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Love you, brother.
Love you too. Sorry to Barbara.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, there you go,
Bye.
Mike Kaplan. Our apologies for the audio issues, but I think we were getting everything he was saying.
Yeah, it almost ended up being perfect. Like we wouldn't hear anything, and then we hear underwear.
Let me just check out some just real quick. Taz says it is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived. General Patton said that. That's a great statement. I love that. Gina Conjemi Coffin, great job. Love seeing Andy behind the man. Whoa.
I think she's picturing Andy naked.
And Danielle Asher, she relates to that. She relates to what Mike was saying, through illness and death, as we mentioned. All right. So, real quick, just want to let you know that Governor's Comedy Clubs will, when they're allowed to reopen, they're already taking measures to be safe and to embrace the social distancing laws. And of course, we here at Govs Radio, we're offering free support to local businesses that are open during this crazy time, such as One with Life Organic Tequila, All Music in Plainview, and of course Roslyn Social. They're all open. They're all doing great things, so go check them out. And of course, don't forget Teespring, where you can order your Govs Radio swag. And of course, you have the contest where if you send us your picture of yourself with the Govs Radio swag, you could win passes to Governors when they open back up. All right, so we thank you guys for hanging out with us today. You had a great show. Thank you, Andy Plajanos. Thank you, DJ D-Love. Thank you, Michael Kaplan. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I thought it was a great show. Other than the audio, I don't know why it's all staticky.
Even Andy Plajanos says, what a great dude that Michael was. Yeah, he's great. Jeff Bosey's watching. Hi, Jeff. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Hope you all have a safe, happy day. I hope you're all healthy and sane. Sallie and I are back here tomorrow. Don't forget, it's Tuesday Trivia Tuesday tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
On Thursday, we have Eric Haft joining us on the screen. Comedian Eric Haft. He's hilarious. And we are still working on. We may have somebody lined up for Friday, but it's not definite yet. But we will. Of course, we will. Everybody have a great day. Have a happy Memorial Day, and Sally and I will see you tomorrow.
Today
what's
we
tonight?
have Tim Saliani for quarantine.
Oh, nice.
And
Is there Steve Squared tonight?
Yeah, there's Steve
Squared
tonight.
at 6:30, and Jam at 8, right?
Jam at 8.
So there you go. Tim Saliani, Quarantine Life at 2. Steve Squared at 6:30.